this is a house and the business uh, conjoined so that whether I want it or not, I'll have the expenses to go with the office. And as we approach the office, you'll see it's just a little building off on its own. It doesn't have real estate taxes because it's attached to the house, and so that is also included in the price. And it's kind of a little messy because we're not ready for season yet. But as you can see, this is the big boss's office, and it contains a lot of knickknacks and stuff from people. There's my dad's adoption picture, his knickknacks, pictures of clients that are famous or well-to-do that have given pictures to us. There's Miss Nebraska. Dad's old marbles, so he still has his marbles. He hasn't lost a marble yet. And his old blocks from when he was a little kid. His antique car collection stuff. Bringing back old memories. His dad's old pipes. This is like a museum here. This is a picture a client gave to him. He's got steins and all kinds of artifacts, basically. These are all railroad plates, an old ship that he built, railroad memorabilia, an airplane that was given to him, old cabinet full of antiques and junk, and then all of his old toys from when he was a little boy. And then, of course, the desk is a little messy. Like I said, we're not ready for season yet, but this is Dad's office, and I'll have to clean it for him, of course. And then here's another office, and it's got some more of Dad's memorabilia and his kids' toys from when we were little. He kind of holds on to stuff. This is the second office, and that's our overflow of paper that we have left from last year. And then here's the third office. I have to turn on the light, looks like. This one has my mom's memorabilia, her trophies, all of her stuff from bowling, stuff I made her. And this is the third office, and it's got a dual screen, of course. And just, this is like the office. It's just full of memorabilia and information. Some pictures my nephew had taken and drawn before he left. Here's our waiting area. My mom crochets hand towels for $2 each, and there are more, obviously, on the desk that I haven't hung up back up yet because I took them to craft fairs. She has 2 racks of them. Okay, now it looks like, and then we have a refrigerator. Of course, every account needs some kind of energy to do what they do. Here is the final office. It also contains minimal memorabilia. That's my favorite shirt. There's our storage, a little extra storage. Another thing one of our clients have made. This room is the fourth room, and it contains the battery backup. Another picture clients had made. A picture of my old car that sits in the garage. Here's kind of my little rack area where I sell my jewelry and stuff. Then, of course, here's the secretary's desk. I covered it, of course. And this is where she sits and takes all the calls. Now, here's what's interesting, is that We have 1, 2, 3, 4 files, 4 deep. That's 16 file drawers there. And then over here is another 2 sets of file drawers. That makes 20 file drawers for a client, full of client files. Approximately 4,000 clients. Now, there is room for expansion. Of course, we could make the waiting area into a double office because there's quite a bit of room for it, and still have room for a couple people to sit. But if we had the extra rooms, clients and would not have to wait, and we'd have a couple more accounts, and we could take on more accounts and make more money, because basically this building is already an expense that I incur anyway, whether I want to or not. It's attached to the house. I can't do nothing with it. Again, here's some more memorabilia. Pictures of the railroad, because my dad worked for the railroad while he did this job. There's a picture of my brother who passed and all his memorabilia. My uncle made the Tin Man, and some of his clients made these other things. And the wind catcher, or whatever they call that, client made for him. She's then since passed. Old railroad picture. Somebody made him a clock, because of course counts don't care about time. They just take their own sweet time to do what they do. Picture of us kids when we were younger. Of course, you won't be able to get a good one. There's me when I was younger. And then, of course, here's some more memorabilia. So as you can see, this is like a museum. This is mostly Avon Museum right in here. That old car we bought my dad, and some more of my mom's trophies that didn't fit in the room. And this picture here, that's been passed from family to family for years, and of course we ended up with it because the family that we were passing it to passed away. Here's I don't know if I'll be able to get a good picture of it, but it's a grandfather clock made by someone at the prison. Got it with a car that I bought. It was like kind of a special deal. The guy wanted to get rid of it, and I ended up with it. Now, I just got my fingers in the way, but there's so much to this business, but the profit is there. We have many ways to make profits by adding a couple more accounts, because we actually have to turn customers away. We don't need to do any advertising because we do it by word of mouth. And we also give our clients pens to hand out to other to people that want to try to get another tax preparer like us. And the pen has a highlighter if you're younger. If you're older, they call it a marker. Anyway, we give those out to our clients. We also keep at the desk all the business cards of the current tax preparers. We have a slot for 2 more, which that's what we're planning for. Of course, here's my business card. If you look up close, it says home of the 7-minute return. I don't know if I can get it to come into focus, but I'm one of the fastest preparers that there are in this office. Also on the back, I told about me and how I came to be here. This wasn't what I planned in life to do when I started out, but I found I love playing with people, and thus my heart's here 100%. My mom and dad own this. It's 1967. This building since 1975, and It needs a lot of work, but it's a great, great building. Now, the cool thing about this building is that there is an apartment in the basement. I'm not, I hate this going down these stairs because they're not even, but it's uh, become basically a store all for everything. Of course, it's going to be hard to see because there's not very much lighting down here, but has an egress window to climb out of. I guess I'm not going to try to show you, but there is an apartment down here in the basement that we could also use for overflow of clientele, um, or to add more offices. We could probably expand up to 4 or 5 more accountants down there. There's only one room built down there. But this office is, like I said, already got everything paid for, so there's not much left to need. The expenses will go down definitely because they won't be paying out rents and other such things. We use the Drake program to do our taxes on. It's the easiest program to use. Has great support. It's a little expensive, but if you buy it early, then you don't pay as much. You pay about a third the price if you order it in May rather than in December. Now, here's a picture of our corporate return. Of course, or how we get into it, I guess. It has the deductions page. Right now it shows the parents as the partners in the business. They each got, that I never looked at that, but I believe they are. Dad is 40 and mom is 60% partner. They started this corporation to avoid paying Social Security that was already paid in and through the railroad, which was a good idea at the time. There is really no other good reason for our business to be this because, the most somebody could sue you for is the amount of tax that they owe, and they usually can't win even on that unless there's a grave error done by the tax preparer, which I'm not going to say won't happen, but as of yet it has not happened. Here's a picture of the K1 for my father. He's at a 40%. And the K1 for mom. It shows only that they make about $12,000 profit a year, but that isn't legitimate because when I take it over, there will be a lot of money saved that won't be paid out that was previous paid out. The advertising's a little high. I probably would go back to using cheap pens. He pays under advertising. He advertises through like Sarasine Circus, Special Olympics, and stuff like that. I'm not against those organizations, but I would not use it for advertising. I'd probably donate money, but not advertise. The cell phone would be dramatically less because mine costs $600 a year compared to the $2,200 that's listed there. There's also janitorial $1,700 listed on here. I don't know if you can see that. That would be saved because I would do that myself rather than to pay it out. Um, the salaries would be different too, because right now it shows 70,000 in salary. That's going to dramatically drop because we're going to go to a percentage rather than paying wages. They're going to go subcontract. They list $12,000 in rents, which is quite a chunk, but that's another thing that won't cost me because it's my place. We'll always have that $2,900 computer repair. The Drake software would go down in half. It would be $1,000, so there'd be $1,600 savings there. Unemployment tax, federal unemployment, and payroll taxes would be zero. There would be no meals. The pest control I would take care of personally. I did that anyway in prior years. I will keep the snow removal because my heart can't take doing that much work. So, with all that in mind, we're talking about a savings of about $30,000 right there. That would go right into profit of paying on a mortgage or something that would finance this business. Now, like I said, there's room for expansion. And I don't know what else to tell you except that this is a very profitable business. If it wasn't, this wouldn't have been standing for 47 years. And, with a client base of 4,000, it has a potential if we raise the rates, which would be advantageous to do this year with the minimum wage increase. Everything is expected to go up. And if we increased our price just a tad bit, we'd make even more profit. Now, the goal here is to make a profit, but yet at the same respect to keep in mind that these people are not made of money, and that there's got to be allowances made for that. And, if an unemployed person comes in, it's hard for me to charge them for a return when they don't even have a job, and that might mean a meal that they could have, or pay their rent or whatever. So, well, it wouldn't pay all their rent because we don't charge that much. But, that's when we don't charge people when they have a loved one that passed away. Now, we limit it to a mom, a dad, a child, a brother, or sister. We don't go aunts, uncles, second cousins, because otherwise we'd be doing free returns all year round. Now, I don't know about you, but the other thing we do is we offer some other services to try to keep people being able to save them money, such as in this drawer, we have what we call the homestead exemption. Now, the homestead exemption allots for a person to fill this out and not have to pay taxes up to a certain percentage based upon their income. We also help people file their W-2 and 1099s. We help them fill out W-4 forms, 941s, and this is where we keep most of that kind of information in this file thing. We also give people goodwill sheets to show what they could, so they can mark out what they give to the goodwill, because now the IRS is a little bit more stingy on that, and they want to know what you gave, how you gave it. So, with doing that kind of stuff, we end up with more clientele because by word of mouth we're growing because we are a compassionate place. We try to help people when we can and try to make their life better. But, if you want to talk actual startup capital, I need $190,000 to finish buying out the business. But that's going to be all I need. That $190,000 paid back in 15 years probably will be paid back in 5. I took out a $30,000 loan last year and had it paid back within 60 days. So if you figure 190,000, I could have it paid back in 6 years or less, and still have a profit to live on. It don't take much to live, when you already have the property. You've already got everything you need. Of course, now I gotta go back and shut off lights. And now you know more about Welch's Tax Service LLC. Sorry this isn't as good as it should be. I'm not really good at presentations. Thank you for your time. Love you.
I'll give you the 105,000 for 40%.
Barbara has made an offer for half the cash, and you've made an offer for all the cash. So rather than make a third offer, I think I'll have to join Barbara in offering half the cash. But I'm going to say we need